when we want to do a horse stance squat, first we have to find our horse stance position or stance. You want to start with maybe bringing your feet together so you can always measure an accurate distance or how many steps stance that you have for your horse stance. For most people, you want to start with 5 steps. So turned out, feet turned out, turned in, that's 2, that's 3, 4, and 5. Now, to a personal degree or preference, you might want to turn out the knees a little bit outwards or a little bit inwards. That's going to be depending on how stable you feel on your ankles, but not completely turn out like a ballerina. So for me, it's somewhere a little bit inwards or just slightly externally outwards. And keeping a nice tall spine here, I'm going to try to lower down, driving my knees out as I sit back, and I'm arching the lower back, keeping my chest proud, looking straight forward, maybe keeping my arms in front to keep my balance a little bit. And we're going to push, squeezing the adductors out towards the side, out to the outside, and the knees, the toes are driving inwards. So a few reps of doing the horse stance squat here. So again, nice tall posture, looking forward, proud chest. Going to sit back, driving the knees out, arching the lower back a little bit like I'm sitting down on a stool, and then squeezing, driving back up to my starting position. If we do that on the sideways angle, I'm going to find my stance again. So open, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can also use a measuring tape to measure how far your feet are. Just put it right in front of you so you can always be accurate in how far your feet distance is. So basically you're starting on a straddle position, facing forward, nice and tall, upright posture. With or without the hands, you're going to try to sit back, lower down, and driving the knees out. Sitting back, notice my arch on the lower back. And I'm going to try to aim to have a level where my hips go about my knees height or depth. And I'm pushing back out, squeezing my knees out, or using my adductors to push back up. I'm going to do a few reps of that. Inhale, exhale, drive down, driving my knees out, and driving my knees out again, going up. And as much as we want, we can try to control the way down, really feeling the stretch on the inside of your legs, that arch on the lower back, proud chest, and maybe you hang out a little bit at the bottom, and then pushing back up, nice and controlled from beginning to end. If 5 stance or 5-step stance is a little bit too much for you, you can always make it 4 or maybe even 3. So trying to keep everything leveled instead of you have a really wide stance, but then you start leaning forward or you start to leaning back or losing your balance. You might want to start where you can comfortably go all the way down and control your movements. And it's not really just a normal squat. So we actually want to focus on the stretch on the adductors or driving the knees out so that my hips and my knees are one straight line. My chest is also one straight line. Or my shoulders, I mean. Yeah, and restarting your position. You can also add some weights to it. If you're having difficulty to just go all the way down, you might want to add a little bit of a load or maybe 5 to 10 kilos to keep it in front of your chest to pull you down. So the weight should not be too heavy where you feel like you're resisting it. So it's more of a strength exercise. We actually want to focus on the range of motion, on how deep can you go, parallel to your knees, the hips parallel to your knee level, instead of contracting, trying to resist the weight. All right, so I'm gonna start with my weight across my chest, really close to the body. Find your horse stance, 5 or 6 steps or 7 steps, and starting again, looking straight forward, nice and upright in your straddle position, driving the knees outwards, sitting back, trying to find your hip about the level of your knees, and coming up to your starting position. Sometimes you might want to, as you come down, find your hold here, and as you come up, you might need to have a little bit of a shifting forward to facilitate that weight to be able to push it back up to the starting position. And that is your horse stance lesson. I'll see you in the next video.